Hey, hi ho, and howdy everybody. My name is Channel Shook, and today I'm thinking about talking about something just a little bit extra. Hey, hi, ho, howdy, and ho, my dudes and stuff. Do a little wiggle jiggle with my arms and stuff. People don't know what I am talking about. I'm just over here doing stuff. I don't know what it is. It's late. I'm tired. Also, fuck, I'm overly casual in these videos to the point of it's probably really irritating to watch. My apologies to those people who watch and are like, hey, what if this guy was a little more professional? And I'll be like, well, I still probably wouldn't watch him. But that's okay, because we're here and you're watching, and that's good, unless you stopped, in which me having this conversation with you is completely pointless because you've already left already. And you know what? Your mother and I are very disappointed in your actions. You should be more kind to random YouTubers on the internet who have no skills, no talents, and are not funny. Because what other reason do they have to live except for meaningless fucking praise on the internet? That's right. I have none. But that's okay, because again, we're here to talk about yet again another episode of Pokemon. Nope. I just got done recording the last review cap episode, and if you've seen that, you know I go into a fucking tirade towards the very end about fandoms and bring up Pokemon quite a bit. Apparently that's still on the brain. No, we're talking about an episode of RWBY, very specifically, Volume 5, Chapter 12, The Vault of the Spring Maiden, a.k.a. that fucking episode. Yeah, so some tells me I already know what most of this episode is going to be me talking about. But yeah, no, we're here with another review cap extra episode. Again, it's that mini series that I do that's an offshoot of another series that I almost never do that I should do, but it's really hard to do and I'm stupid and terrible, as we mentioned before. Where I just sit and talk about shit that happens in RWBY. And God willing, here at some point soon, other shows as well. Maybe. Oh God, Shannon, get it together, boy. Yeah, no, so we're here to talk about episode 12. Again, it's me, so you know I liked it. But let's talk about why I like it and what happened. Okay, so we start off the episode, and it starts off right off where we left off, with Weiss becoming the newest item on Cinder's Kebabapalooza menu. I need a better name for Cinder's restaurant. Comment down below if you got a good name for Cinder's Kebab restaurant. I believe in you, because you're better at this than I am. That's right, you, Phil. You see, everyone here watching this video right now thinks like, there's no Phil watching this video. Except for Phil, who's like, I know the truth. I am the me of which he speaks. And I will comment down below, goddammit. Anyway, the episode starts off exactly where we left off, with Weiss getting got, and with Jean sprinting over to her, being all like, oh God, you're dying, that's not good, we don't like this. Actually, he's a lot more upset. Yeah, so he runs over to do that. Everybody else is kind of in shock. Oscar in particular notices what's going on, notices that Ruby's knocked out and his fucking Rose Garden senses kick in, and he just immediately starts fucking like, oh God, and he fucking punts Leo down the goddamn stairs. My man fell down like a fucking sack of potatoes down the fucking stairs. He went down like a slinky. That's my slinky noise. Did anyone do that as a kid? I bet you probably did, because I'm pretty sure that was one of the big selling points of slinkies. Did you... Here's a good... totally off topic, but here's a good question. And it started exactly at 4:20 into the episode, for me. Into the recording. So, it's the perfect conversation as if I was fucking high. Did any... Did anyone just how easy was it to break a fucking slinky? Because, like, those things how did they get tangled like that? They got so fucked up, and I never could fathom how they got fucked up that way. How did they wrap and muddle themselves to this big mangled pile of metal and or plastic? How? Comment down below. Okay, point is, Leo goes down like a sack of spuds, ends up crashing into Hazel, and Hazel's like, bitch, what is wrong with you? You just got your ass handed to you by a fucking 14-year-old boy. I thought you were a fucking headmaster. Oscar makes his way down over, starts huddling over RWBY, like, hey, do I need to give her mouth to mouth? And they're like, no, we don't, but sure, can I do it anyway? Because I feel like we have to. I trained for this moment. No, you didn't. You need to leave your face off of her face. I sincerely believe that I should. And I don't care what the couple century-year-old man inside of me thinks about it. It's okay. Real quick thing on Rose Garden. I do ship it and I like it, but there's a part of me that goes it's a little weird because she's still, what, 17? She's still 16. And while it's not inherently creepy when it's Oscar and her, it is inherently fucking disturbing when it's when you have a couple 1,000-year-old man inside of that little boy, and that sentence alone is creepy. Anyway, he's down there, men are taking care of her, and Leo is chatting with Hazel. He's like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? How'd you get your ass kicked by a little baby boy? And he's like, dude, that's not a baby boy, though. That's fucking Ozpin. That's Ozpin. I love Leo as Bento. Or Bento as Leo. This is news which Hazel takes exception to, because, spoilers, Hazel don't like fucking Ozpin. As you can tell by 4 seconds later when he starts to have a fucking mental breakdown and turn into a goddamn screaming nightmare machine at the thought of Ozpin. And Ozpin doesn't fucking feel good about that either. So, yeah, Hazel realizes Ozpin, proceeds to go complete and utter fucking apeshit, screaming like, Ozpin, I'll fucking kill you. You'll die over and over again. Which is a really fucking entertaining line, especially when you meme the shit out of it. Thank you, Arnold. Again, god damn it. The man knows how to meme. So many Arthurs. Point is... yeah, Hazel proceeds to go complete another fucking apeshit, and Ozma's like, we should get the fuck out of here because he's fucking crazy, and we should not be doing what we're doing right now, which is sitting here with this little girl. And during Hazel's freakout session, he pulls out his weapon, which is really, really cool, because it's the first time we've actually seen someone, or at least confirmed see someone do it, in the entire show since it was discussed on World of Remnant. Forever ago in the Dust World of Remnant, they mentioned very specifically that one of the many ways people use dust, one of the more archaic and fucking like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this because it's probably bad for you, ways of doing it is to infuse dust into your body directly. I know a lot of people, at least me specifically, and a few other people that I had seen back in the day once thought that Cinder had done this. I think it had been confirmed, that, even if it's not confirmed, it just seems very obvious that she had done it with sewing it into clothing before. She did it with her dress for the ball. But I had considered, well, I wonder if she actually did that. But considering how it seems to affect a person when they do it, considering it fucking turns them literally into goddamn Bane, I'm starting to think probably wasn't the case. Also, the fact that we now know that she was a maiden, but admittedly don't know what was up with her before, because technically she was doing that shit before the maiden concept existed. I'm not 100% sure. Also, it's something that I actually been thinking about a lot the past couple weeks or so, was I was wondering if Ozpin's original semblance if he wasn't cursed, if it was his semblance originally that made him do the reincarnation thing. Because it takes me back to, like, back in the fucking first volume, when someone asked, like a panel or something, that asked the gang, the RWBY, what Ozpin's semblance was, and they're like, oh, we can't fucking tell you, but just know it's like one of the most broken, overpowered fucking things possible. It's like fucking absurdly broken. So I was kind of thought maybe that was maybe his original semblance before the Maiden storyline came up with the wizard and whatnot. But I also don't know if that's true or not. Maybe he still does have that semblance, we just don't know about it. It's probably the case, but I like to dream. Which again, yeah, makes me wonder, what was Cinder's thing then? I don't know. I don't honestly care, but I'm interested, but I don't, but I'm due. Point is, we see Hazel do that. We see him inject electric dust into his body. And again, like I said, it literally turns you into fucking Bane. He gets all super hulked out and whatnot, and gets the creepy demonic, your classic, this is my final form voice. And then he proceeds to bounce across the fucking room, trying to beat the shit out of Ozpin. As you do. It's at this point that I believe, if I remember correctly, it's at this point that Cinder, Raven, and Vernal all basically decide, hey, we're gonna go down to the vault. Leo opens up the big statue in the middle of the fucking room with his pocket watch. Thought it was cool. I wonder if that's a reference to Ozpin being all about time and whatnot. That'd probably be my guess. Or maybe it was just because he likes pocket watches. I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out in another volume when we go to Atlas and or Vacchio and stuff. Leo opens up the thing, and then Cinder, Raven, and Vernal make their way into it turns the statue into an elevator, and which is going to lead down to the vault, and they all go off in there. I can't remember exactly when it happens, but I know Yang at one point tries to go after them because she sees them leaving, but ends up getting stopped by Mercury and Emerald because they're dicks. But off of that, goes down to back to Weiss, Jean, and Ren, who are all kind of talking. Obviously, Jean's just trying to keep her from fucking bleeding out, and Ren's sitting there going, this is bad. No shit, Sherlock. Which is another one of those things where it comes down to, like, I make fun of Ren for doing it because it's something that a character did that I can make fun of, but I don't, like, shit on the writers for it because, I mean, if I was a human being in that situation, I'd probably say the same thing because I'm a fucking idiot. Not saying Ren's an idiot. I'm just saying it's a silly thing to do, but I've done that exact thing before, just not with a dead person or a dying person. But I've fucking done that before, so I can't even complain. I can laugh at it in retrospect, but I'm not gonna judge no writer for that shit. Anyway, so they're there, sitting there holding on, and Jean's proceeding to again freak out because he's like, no, not again, can't do this. He's like holding his hand on her wound. He's like, no, please God, don't fucking you die too. Remember, I had a crush on you. Please don't die. And then he starts glowing. Spooky. That's not spooky. What's spooky about glowing? I'd love to be able to glow. Maybe I get pregnant, and then I'll be glowing all the time. I somehow managed to bring it back to babies. God damn it, the last episode really fucked me up, didn't it? It was the fucking Raven discussion. That's what it was. It ruined my life. Point is, then it cuts back down to Cinder and them in the elevator, making their way down to the vault, and basically Cinder going, oh, come on, everybody. Why the long faces? This is so good. Look at... You're going to be the first maiden in for God knows how long to open a vault. aren't you so excited? And Vernal like, no, fuck you. I'm doing this because I'm trying to help my fucking tribe. I couldn't give less of a fuck about any of this shit. Fuck you, fuck your master, fuck all those twats that you brought along with you. I just want out of this shit. I'm not a fucking fan. It's true. You don't plug her into the wall. She ain't got no blades like that. She definitely ain't blowing no air at your face. Not that I necessarily want her to, just go. Stop it. No, I'm cooling you off. Okay, I mentioned last episode that I played Fire Emblem Fates Conquest through, and spoilers, you can get married in that game, and one of the many things that you can do after your relationship gets strong enough is your wife or whatever can have a bath, and eventually they're back in your place, and when you go to meet her again, there's a prompt to blow into the microphone to cool her off, and it's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever done in a video game in my life. It's just, it made me think of that, because that's what was happening here. And this completely irrelevant fucking tangent. But it was silly. Games, please don't make people do that in public. It's weird enough when I'm in the fucking room in the dark, but it's worse if you're like in the corner of the room while everyone's eating dinner or something. You're like, hey Shannon, what are you doing? Shh. She's hot. In more ways than one. Okay, we're gonna move on. This is RWBY review. Again, not professional. Why do you people watch? I choose to believe it's because you love me and my crazy antics. But I also know that that's an incorrect statement. Anyway, so Cinder, Raven, and the not fan are going down in the elevator, and we actually get the first view of the vault of the Spring Maiden. And can I just fucking say, and it's something I have to actually give credit to for earlier in the elevator itself, but fucking shit, the animation is so the art direction animation for this episode in particular is so fucking good. It is fucking beautiful. I mentioned in the elevator previously, the animation for Cinder in particular is fucking amazing this episode. Whoever was responsible for making her act and like move the way she does and act out, so you know, fucking just the like the sly movements that she's making, and like, ooh yeah, like the shit that she did was so fucking like real. It's like, oh, you could touch her, but not in a creepy way. I don't wanna. Like, it was incredibly well done. And again, the vault of the Spring Maiden looks fucking gorgeous, from the giant door, from the tree with the glowing petals that fall down and dissolve into the air, and when Vernal catches one in her hand and it just dissolves. Like, it's so fucking good and pretty. It's so good. I cannot fucking express how fucking it is. I can't imagine like just having someone having someone watch Volume 1 and then showing them just that clip. The clip of them going down in the elevator and seeing the fucking vault and then walking down into the room. I cannot fucking fathom what that would be like. It's so fucking beautiful. Huge props to RWBY on that. Again, I'm not a graphics guy ever, but fucking A, that was beautiful. I know I was pretty even in my shitty watching things at 144p or whatever. I can't wait to watch the episode again after I get it, and it's actually in at least semi-good fucking quality. I'm sure it looks fucking fabulous. Anyway, so they're going down and doing that. Once they get down into the vault, Cinder makes a quick comment on like, oh, hey, shit, this is significantly more grand than Beacon's. And while I say yes for its fashion, I love the tree. The vault and Beacon would have been significantly prettier with the tree. The vault and Beacon was so much bigger. Like, I mean, they're both really big. Actually, wait, no, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's just because the hallway felt so fucking long. But now I think about it, that's a huge fucking cave that's in. I don't know. Either way, they're both fucking cool. Anyway, they're both, and they all kind of chill down there, and the floor all lights up, and they end up making their way to the door. But we'll get back to that in a moment. I can't remember where the cutoff is on this episode, but we'll get to that in a moment, because we'll have to talk about that one by the end of this episode. You better fucking believe we will, because you've already seen the episode. You better have. If you haven't, you're in trouble. Also, why would you ever watch this if you haven't seen the episode? It would make no sense. Point is, they all make their way down there, and then we swap back up to, I believe it's back up to Oz and Hazel beating the shit out of it. Hazel trying to beat the shit out of Oscar, damn. Yeah, basically that's kind of the whole point is, Hazel keeps rolling up on Oscar, and Osmond's like, hey, okay, maybe you should let me take over, because he's gonna fucking eat you if you don't. You need to just let me, you're going to die. And then Oscar, motherfuckers with your goddamn too similar sounding fucking names. Stop it. I can't word right, damn it. Hazel ends up knocking Oscar across the room, and who ends up getting saved kind of by Crow, but still getting the shit kicked out of him. And Osmond's like, hey, no, you need to let me do it, because you're gonna fucking die, and I'm gonna have to get a new goddamn body again, and I can't handle this shit. I already had to deal with one of you fuckers. Also, I wonder if before they meld together, I wonder if Oscar would pass as well. I wonder if then the next body would have 3 people in it. Probably not, but that'd be a weird plot point. Find out next time if he dies. I don't know why I try to be so spoiler safe on these episodes. Y'all have seen the next episodes, I would assume. Who watches the regular episode and then comes to watch my shit before watching the regular? Who? No one, Shannon. That's who. Anyway, he keeps telling him to do that, and he's like, dude, why? Why the fuck does he want to fucking eat you so much? And that's the point where Hazel's like, oh, he didn't tell you now. He didn't tell you my tale, did he, boy? And he chucks fucking, chucks Crow across the room like he's a goddamn slinky. Because apparently that's what you do with a slinky. Bean baby. There it is. He's a beanie baby. Throw him around. Throw him around, toss him in those little circle in planks, and you make a game out of it. But it's a crow. It's a baby crow. And he basically ends up revealing kind of his story. And this is an interesting topic, because again, I'm gonna talk about people shitting on RWBY and why it pisses me off. And it kind of comes down to Hazel's backstory and reason for hating Ozpin. A lot of people were totally fine with it. Okay, makes sense. Long story short, Hazel had a sister. His sister wanted to become a huntress. Went to go to Beacon to become a huntress. Ended up dying on a training mission. He blames Ozpin for her dying on that training mission. Now, the biggest thing to keep in mind here, this is all told from the perspective of Ozpin. We have no idea if that's actually true. We don't know how much of an effect he had in the training, even if what he said is true. If it's half-truths, kind of like Yang mentions in the past, a couple episodes, he could still be telling 100% the truth, just leaving out the part where he's like, oh yeah, no, I was more responsible for it. It did happen to be in a training mission. And because Hazel can't hear what Ozpin's telling him, who knows if the truth is really coming out in what Ozpin says, or at least not the whole truth. That's, again, under the assumption that Ozpin's a liar, which, again, I'm fucking willing to bet he is. Nothing against the man. But the fucker needs to learn how to tell the truth every once in a while. But point is, that basically is how the story goes. Also, kind of learned that Hazel is, especially since I don't think we ever got what Hazel was a reference to before, but a lot of people considering their names were Hazel and Gretchen, they're probably based on Hansel and Gretel, which it kind of makes sense and would be interesting, especially considering we have a witch-esque character considering it's literally in her fucking name and the witch point is Salem. I think it's a very interesting thing, and I would love to learn more about it if there presumably is more to that story. But, you know, basically the thing is a lot of people were like, that's too weak. They were like, that's too weak a thing for Hazel. And a lot of people, I don't know what it is, but a lot of people in this episode specifically went like, they ruined Hazel. And it comes back to that thing like, oh, this is a complete and utter shit. It's garbage. It's trash. And I can't understand why. He has a reason. He believes this person is responsible for the death of someone he cared about so very much. Obviously enough to literally turn to the dark fucking side so as to see him brought to justice. Or at least what he believes to be justice. At the cost of breaking his own morals on other routes, or on other sides, killing children if it means that in the end he can stop Ozpin from killing potentially more. That's the way I always kind of looked at it. It's like, yeah, no, he's killing people, and he's breaking the things that his moral code that he seems to have, but he believes that that's right, because in the end, him stopping this immortal fucking being from ruining thousands of lives forever and ever and ever is able to justify the atrocities that he's doing on his own. And to me, that makes sense. That seems totally fine. But a lot of people, for whatever reason, couldn't get behind that's not a good enough reason. Which I will never understand, because humans, we sometimes pick the weirdest hills to die on. Sometimes people will pick the most absurd reasons to fight the battles that they fight. And I'm talking about real life and fiction. And that one makes sense. So I don't know why people have such a huge problem with accepting Hazel as he is. Between that and a lot of people apparently hated the idea of him being just this big hulking monster guy. Which, I mean, he's smart. You can have a big, strong, terrifying, brawny villain who's really smart. I don't know why people assume that he's just this big old dumb, meaty, punchy henchman guy, and I'm like, I don't understand why you have to always go out of your way to pick on something for no reason. Just fucking sit and enjoy the shit. It's not that fucking important. It makes sense. I've seen far less logical fucking reasons for someone to do the crazy, horrible, horrific fucking shit we do. Like, I mean, we live in, for example, I live in the United States in the year 2018. People do horrible, horrible shit for the dumbest reasons, for reasons nowhere near as strong as what Hazel had. I mean, it's not a pleasant fucking topic to talk about, but Parkland happened just a little while back. And why did that guy do it? Because he's a fucking dick. I don't know, like, he's a monstrous cunt. I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm sorry to bring up that fucking topic. That's not pleasant at all. Fuck that guy. But it's like, I don't understand the weird hills that people go out of their way to die on when it comes to just hating things for the sake of fucking hating them. I don't understand it. Just fucking, if you don't like the show, don't watch it. Just watch something that you do love. Don't shit all over something because someone else does love it. I don't fucking get it. Point is, I really liked Hazel's backstory, and I do personally hope that there's more to it, but if there's not, I'm totally fine with there not being more to it. I'm not gonna complain and be like, oh, Ruby's ruined because that's his backstory, because that's a perfectly fine and makes sense backstory. I'm sorry, that makes sense to me. Not saying I'd fucking do it, but I'm saying I could see why someone who's fucking damaged emotionally and mentally would do that. You know, I don't get it. So basically, yeah, no, that's the discussion of Hazel, his reasoning and all of that, and eventually, after that happens, Ozpin ends up completely taking over Oscar's body without his permission, which should cause some fucking concern that he can just take over his fucking body. Again, it's for the good in that moment, but in the long run, that's a little fucked. And yeah, so, and then Ozpin and Ozpin and Hazel proceed to have a showdown. Then we jump back to Jean and Weiss and the gang, and it basically comes down to them noticing the glow and whatnot. It's like, oh shit, what the fuck is happening? And RWBY ends up getting up and going over there, and they end up noticing that, well, after that point, after that glow, aura seems to be flowing through Jean towards Weiss. And Ren's like, holy shit, she's stabilizing, she's fucking breathing, she's not bleeding all over the place anymore. Like, and it's pretty easy to assume whatever the hell is going on is for the fucking good. Basically, I mean, there's no point hiding. You know what it is. It's fucking Jean's semblance. As for exactly what it is, I'll save it for the next episode, because it literally gets flat out told you what it is in the next episode, but it's pretty easy to fucking figure out, considering aura is flowing from him into her. It makes sense. But again, we'll leave it. So, RWBY runs over and ends up checking him out and seeing what's going on and whatnot, and ends up doing the other thing from this that everyone likes to fucking point fun of, but I will too, because it's fucking funny. It makes total sense in my mind, but it's still funny. And that's when she lifts Rajan's hands up and notices that Weiss's wound is healed. And she's like, okay, don't stop what you're doing. Bitch, you just moved my hands away. What if she died now because of that? Come on, Rubes, get it together, home slice. Pizza? I want some pizza now. But yeah, no, she ends up noticing that. It's at this point then RWBY is like, okay, so you keep doing what you're doing. She looks over, sees Yang is getting the shit kicked out of her. Looks back over at Ozpin and Oscar. Yeah, no, it's Ozpin now. Ozpin and Hazel fighting. Ozpin almost gets taken out, but ends up getting knocked out of the way by Crow, who instead gets taken across the room, thrown out of the way. His skeleton, spooky, scary skeletons, getting shocked into view and whatnot, and he gets checked across the room. And it's at that point that she's like, okay, you stay here, hold this. I'm gonna go help my sister. She jumps in there, kicks people out the way, being all like, hey, you and your illusions, we ain't doing this shit here. And then she pulls the fucking pose back from the red trailer, which I thought was a really cute fucking touch. And then Yang gets up in there like, okay, so us two versus Mercury and Emerald. Let's do this. Let's throw down. Let's get real. Let's get jiggy with it. And Yang's all like, you good? He's like, nah, fucking angry. Yeah. Which again, it's funny in her voice, but I thought it was a good touch. It was cool. And then they go off to fight, and then we jump to the very last section of the episode. Yeah, that section. So basically, we jump back down to the Vault of the Spring Maiden, where Vernal, Cinder, and Raven are. Cinder and Raven are kind of chilling towards the back, while Vernal is making her way closer to the door. And Cinder basically thought, okay, so basically, you put your hand on the door, the Maiden opens the door, put it on there, it'll open up. I'm gonna go inside, I'm gonna go grab the relic, just me, and then I'm gonna come out, and then y'all can leave, and it'll all be good. Totally believable story. And that's basically kind of what it gets set up as. After that, Vernal makes her way over to the door, gets ready to go for it. But of course, Raven and Vernal have their own plan, obviously, which is she goes for the door, Raven takes out Cinder, they grab the relic, and they boot Scoot and Boogie. As you do. And as Raven reaches for her blade to take out Cinder, Cinder ends up talking back, which obviously, to anyone who ever seen a movie before, is like, oh, you're fucked. Oh, she's gonna get you before you're gonna get her. You really should just not stop your blade. You should fucking get her. Get her. Raven, come on, do it. Get the stab on. Stab on, stab off. Thank you, Mr. Miyagi. have been a very different series of films if that was how this all happened. The fucking samurai kid. Point is, Cinder starts talking about how, like, you know, everyone tells these cool stories about you, Raven, how you're strong, you're smart, you're clever. Again, comes back to that really good fucking animation on Cinder. Again, please, dear whoever made that animation, contact me and tell me your information so that I may forever, for the rest of your life, just inundate you with praise. Biano basically ends up throwing that out there, and obviously at that point it becomes very clear after that, it's just like obvious she's gonna turn on them, and then she pulls out that it's a shame that they're wrong, and then Raven, knowing that she's got, calls out for Vernal and gets frozen in place by the Maiden powers from Cinder. Which is a thing too, is apparently people don't seem to understand completely that any of the maidens have all control over, like, the elements. I mean, I thought we knew this when Amber was using lightning and wind and ice and fire and all that crazy shit. I just thought we already knew that, but apparently we didn't at the time. So, you know, that happens, and then we cut back to Vernal, and she immediately gets got, but you don't see how. Cause Cinder's across the room, and you're like, how's she do that? Cause you look back at her, and you're like, wait, that sleeve is up, she's got the arm out, and you're like, oh, I know what this is, and this is what I thought it was from the beginning. And you get the pan down shot from Vernal, and you see Cinder's arm, which is grim as fuck, and that's awesome. So Cinder has an arm very similar to the imp, which I feel like I need to preface that, because I don't know how many people know this, but, like, I think it was forever ago. Can't remember if it was in a panel or if it's in I think it might have been in the commentary for Volume 4. I can't remember. I didn't actually watch it myself. I should, though. Why haven't I done that? But the RWBY mentioned that the Nuclovy was a fusion of two different Grimm, whatever the horse was, and the humanish part, which was called an imp. So basically she has that thing's arm, but on her, like, sewn into her fucking body, because why not? Why not give Cinder another reason and a way to be a fucking dick? And she's off stabbing Vernal all across the room with the stretchy arms. But anyway, that was really cool, and that's really cool. It's not cool. Vernal is, like, fucked. Vienna, she gets her and then starts walking over, like, oh, and then she starts delivering the same fucking lines to her that she was delivering up here, like, oh, it's a shame that all of this and this, and, like, oh, but it's okay, because now it's mine, and ends up dropping Vernal down and taking her out. But wait. You hear that on the wind? It sounds like a plot twist is coming. And after Cinder takes down Vernal, she realizes, shit, wait, why don't I have the fucking maiden power? Why do I not have my maiden powers? Bish better have my money, but she don't have it. And I don't know why this is due. And I don't like it. And she's like, starts freaking like, what the fuck? And then, obviously, from behind, Raven breaks out of the ice, pulls off her mask, throws it to the floor. And when she opens up her eyes, the fucking maiden powers show up, and she screams out, like, Vernal isn't the scream. She's not the scream maiden, despite what you've been told. I once had a soul. That's a fucking good song. I need to listen to that again. Anyway, point is, and throws it like, Vernal is not the spring maiden. I fucking am. And then it cuts to black. And everyone in the world delivered a simultaneous motherfucker. What? And it's a really interesting thing too, because the funny thing is, the reveal of Raven as the Spring Maiden didn't hit me at all, and there's a very specific reason for it. Literally the same morning that the episode came out, while waiting for the episode, or right before I went to bed, because of my sleep schedule, I go to sleep at like 6 in the fucking morning, and then wake up later during the evening, and then proceed to do all my work and work throughout the night. Like 6, 7 in the morning, I'm flipping through Reddit, and at one point in a random thing, I saw that someone had done a random theory about how Raven was actually the Spring Maiden. And because I'm fucking retarded, I just went like, oh, that's crazy. I never considered that. I wonder what the reasoning behind that is. And went in there, and it went point by point by point by point to give all of the reasons why Raven was the Spring Maiden and Vernal wasn't. And one of the biggest ones, and I think the biggest one that anyone can pull out is, and it's the only thing I'm really gonna use is to discuss it here and now, is when we see Vernal use the Maiden powers in A Perfect Storm, her eyes are closed for one, so you can't see her use the Maiden glowy eye McDoodle. And more importantly, Raven is standing right next to her with her mask on, so you can't see her fucking face. And it as soon as I saw that, I'm like, holy shit, that could actually be a thing. That'd be weird and crazy. Then went to sleep, immediately woke up, watched the episode, I was like, fuck, they were right, and they were right for all the right reasons. Just like, it didn't affect me because I literally learned why it would make perfect sense for that to happen, so it wasn't a twist, it was more like an inevitability right before that happened. If I literally just hadn't been on the internet, if I literally had gotten off the internet 5 minutes earlier that night, or that morning, that twist would have melted my fucking brain. But what are you gonna do? It was still cool. It's still great. It's still like the first real plot twist in all of RWBY, outside of. That's not true. There's honestly, it's 2 plot twists that happened kind of at the end of the last 2 volumes. Volume 3, which was the reveal of Salem as the narrator and whatnot, which is a plot twist as much as it can be, and I thought that was good. And then there was kind of the reveal of Leo as a traitor in Volume 4, I would say, and now in Volume 5 we have the reveal that Raven is the Spring Maiden. And while I'd say those are plot twists, this is definitely a bigger and more important one as far as I'm concerned. And I thought it was a really, really good touch. It makes perfect sense. I know some people have little complaints about it, just like, well, that doesn't make sense. You could see through the mask and all this and that, and like, no, it's a cartoon. That can be their excuse. Okay, don't worry about it. You just relax. It's not that serious. Just watch the fucking show and enjoy it. It's good. You're not going crazy about it, but I mean, just it's not that big a deal. But it makes perfect sense, and I thought it was a really good twist. Yeah, I'd considered the possibility before, but before I had seen the theory on it, I had no real evidence behind it other than it was like, that would be interesting if Raven was the Spring Maiden. But I guess she can't be because Vernal. Yeah, no, that's where we ended up. That's the episode. And what did I think about it? Again, if you haven't noticed, I like RWBY. I never fucking complain about it, really. I loved it. It was good. I enjoyed it. It isn't the next episode. Oh, the next episode. I mean, you already know how much to say about that. But it was very, very good. And the fact that Weiss is not dying because Sean unlocked magical healing Meduse is fucking awesome. Again, I'll go more into that in the next episode. But yeah, just for this one, good news and plot twists and bad news for Hazel and lemons. If you guys enjoyed the episode and enjoyed my video, if you guys didn't, if you tolerate it, go ahead and double hit the like button, comment button, subscribe button, and share buttons. They're all down there. They're all useful. They mean a whole lot to me. I want to marry them, have their babies, suck their toes. What? I've never been really much of a foot guy. I have nothing necessarily against it as long as you got clean feet. But just not anything for it. I'm glad we took the extra few minutes in this episode to go over my opinion on foot fetishes. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next episode. We will talk about chapter 13. Holy shit, we're almost done with this fucking... I actually fucking almost have completed a fucking volume of RWBY. It's not as a review cap, so I shouldn't be excited. I shouldn't be proud. But I finally did something-ish. It's like the fucking first time. It's like when I beat fucking Soul Silver. It's like my heart is ready. It's preparing. It's crazy. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll talk about chapter 13. What is it? What is chapter 13 called? I'm trying to remember. Shit. Can't remember. I will see you guys in the next episode where I will know what it is because I will have looked it up. Balls. I'm legitimately mad that I can't remember the name. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed Tools, Duels, and Lemons. Oh, bye-bye. Or Downfall. That's what it is. Downfall. I fucking remembered. It took me fucking forever, but I literally remembered it the second I turned off the recording. We're back. I'm here. God damn it.